Hello everyone, this is Jason from the Seymour Public Library, coming today with an Animalympians class. Today in Animalympians we're going to talk about weightlifting, and we're going to talk about an incredibly strong animal called the ant. First off, I'm going to show you a few lifts. These are Olympic lifts. You'll have to use your imagination because I don't have real weights here, so I just kind of put some pretend weights together. So use your imagination, but I'm going to show you a couple of lifts, and these are Olympic lifts they do in the Olympics. The first one's going to be the deadlift, then I'm going to show you how to do a squat. So bear with me, hope you like this, and let's go to the weights. So these are my pretend weights here, and the first weight lift we're going to do is called the deadlift. So you want to put your legs about shoulder width apart, bend at your knees, keep your butt low and your head up, grab your weights with your hands outside of your legs and just pull up. Don't bend your arms, you just stand up with the weight. So again, and then go down and you just stand up with the weight, and you want to keep the weight in to your body as close as you can. That is the deadlift. Then the next weight lift that I want to show you that they do in the Olympics is called the squat, and the weights actually go on your back and they squat down like this, and they go back up, and they squat down and they go back up. So those are a couple of our weightlifting weightlifts that they do in the Olympics. The Olympic weightlifting has many different classes. So weightlifting is done both for boys and girls in the Olympics, and it's based on your weight class. So if somebody who weighs a lot more than you, they're not going to be in the same, you're not going to be competing against them. They're going to be in a different weight class. So there's several different weight classes for both men and women, and they do several different lifts, and whoever lifts the most weight wins the Olympic medal. Now let's talk about our Olympian animal today, which is the ant. You probably have seen many ants around your house. In fact, this ant right here is probably the one you've seen the most of. It's the carpenter ant, which is the ant that we have a lot of around here in Indiana. But ants are really cool animals because they're the strongest animal compared to their size. Most ants can lift 20 times their body weight. Some can't lift quite that much, and then there's others who can lift as much as 100 times their body weight. So the normal ant can lift between 20 and 50 times its body weight. That'd be like you lifting your mom and dad's car. So that's how strong an ant is, and that's why there are an Olympian. There's some other cool facts about ants. Ants are the only animals on the planet besides humans that farm and ranch. There's a certain type of ant that will farm aphids. They're little animals that they protect because they produce something called honeydew, which is what most ants like to eat. So the ants will herd them up like cattle, protect them from their enemies, and in exchange the aphids give the ants the food that they like. Then the leaf ant actually uses the leaves, and they break them down and they farm them. They break the leaves down and turn the leaves into a fungus and grow the fungus, and the fungus is what they eat. So again, ants are the only animals besides humans that can farm and ranch. There are many ants in the world. In fact, there are more than 1 quadrillion ants in the world estimated. That is approximately 1 million ants per every person that's in the world. So that is huge. Ants live in colonies. They work together. they live in colonies. There are three main types of ants. There's the queen ant, the worker ant, and the male ants. The queen ant lays eggs. The male ants, or the boy ants, fertilize the eggs so they can hatch and create more ants. And then the worker ants, who are all female ants or girl ants, they go out and find the food and they protect the colony. So that's what they do. Ants, the boy ants and the queen ants actually have wings, but the girl ants do not. The ants will also enslave other colonies of ants. So some of the ants would go in and take over the colonies and then make slaves out of the worker ants from those colonies, who will then take care of all the babies and food and all that for their colonies. Another cool thing about ants is ants don't have any lungs. They breathe through little holes in their body that the oxygen flows through and the carbon dioxide comes out of. So ants don't have any lungs. They also cannot see. They're, I guess, technically blind, but they feel vibrations with their legs, and that's how they see where they're going. Ants also communicate by leaving pheromones or smells behind to let other ants know the way to the food source they're going to and the way back to their colonies. Ants are on every continent in the world except Antarctica, and the biggest ant colony actually stretches from northern Italy all the way to the coast of Spain, which is about 3,700 miles. That is the biggest ant colony. That is about the distance, that's more than the distance from one side of the United States all the way to the other. So the biggest ant colony is bigger than the United States. Ants are also found, the Argentine ant is found all around the world, and they believe that they're all related. So the Argentine ant, which is the ant that has the 3,700 mile colony that I just told you about, is also in the western United States in Death Valley, who has the biggest anthill in the world, which is 538 miles. So these ants are massive places. Some ants also can swim, and they do that by stacking up on each other in a certain way and creating a raft that floats across the water. Ants can also hold their breath or be underwater for up to 24 hours. Ants also are cool because they can live for a very long time. They can live between 20 and 30 years, which is an amazing thing. So ants live for a very, very long time compared to most other insects who just live for a few days. Again, there are 12,000 different kinds of ants in the world. Some ants have stings and sting you, like some ants will bite. Several ants, there's a few ants. The bullet ant, which is this ant right here, has one of the worst stings in the world. One of the most painful stings in the world. And then the fire ant, this one right here, this one, we have these in the United States. And the fire ants are very mean. They do lots of damage, about $5 billion worth of damage each year. But they have a very mean bite, and they're called a fire ant because when you get stung by them, it burns. And I know this from personal experience because I've been bitten by one, and it's very painful for about 2 or 3 days. So you want to make sure if you go to the south or the west, that you keep your shoes on so you don't step on any of these fire ants. Ants have lived for as long as the dinosaurs have been on Earth. So about 130 million years is what researchers think how long the ants have lived. So they've been around for a long time. There's a lot of them. They're very strong, so they're a really cool animal. And that's why they're our Animalympian of the week. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned a lot about ants. And we'll see you next time. Bye.